Hey guys, what's up? So, you already know the drill. Grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, because today we're talking about being single in your 30s. This one is hard because I've pretty much been single my whole life. And I guess you can call me a late bloomer. And I made a video about being a late bloomer, but I'll go a bit more in depth in today's video. So, backing up just a little bit here. I grew up in a single parent household. So my father was there, but he wasn't really present, if that makes sense. My mom pretty much raised me and my sister by herself. And I also think being raised as a Jehovah's Witness, even though she doesn't practice the faith, she did as a kid, but as an adult, she doesn't. I think some of their ideologies kind of trickled into her parenting style. So we couldn't date. Me and my sister didn't really date anyone throughout elementary school and high school. Never kissed anyone. No sex, definitely no sex or hanging out with friends after school. We just went to school and came straight home. And of course, I always wanted to go out, but I never felt like I was missing out. It wasn't until I reached high school where I realized, oh wow, I'm a late bloomer. I look back on some pictures and I was so short, and I didn't care. No one ever said you're too short. I never got bullied for that. But I would look at other guys and see how they were fit, they had abs, they had muscle, they were dating people, and the concept of dating just didn't register in my mind. It didn't seem obtainable because I was only thinking about school, getting good grades, graduating, and that's it. I didn't even think I needed to date, but I saw everyone around me dating, and I reached a point where I thought, what's wrong with me? How am I going through life not dating anyone? And it's not like I didn't try. When I was in high school, I developed crushes on a few people. So I liked this one girl in my class, and we were actually friends. So when I asked her out, and she just put her hand on my shoulder, and she was like, "Oh, I don't see you that way," and that shit fucking devastated me. That was the first person I ever asked out. I never thought I would ask anyone out. I didn't think I would have a girlfriend, if that makes sense. I feel like growing up, when you watch shows like Full House, Family Matters, Disney Channel, you don't really think too much about dating or how you're gonna go about it. You just know, okay, one day I'm gonna get married and have kids. That's it. I never thought about the process. I never thought about going up to a girl and asking her out. I never thought about getting rejected or heartbreak or even breaking up with someone. So I think reality hit me really hard, and I was like, oh shit, some people might not find me attractive. So after I asked her out and she said no, I felt really depressed. And I don't think I asked anyone out for years. I liked another girl in my class maybe 2 years later, but she also didn't like me, so that didn't go anywhere. But I didn't ask anyone out for years. I went through life single. And I watched everyone around me get into relationships, have kids, get married, whatever the case may be. And I would just kind of think, why can't I be in a relationship? And I was definitely more insecure back then. But looking back on it, I'm like, it's okay that I didn't date someone. A lot of people in my classes were having sex, getting girls pregnant, getting STIs, also doing a lot of illegal stuff in the bathrooms. And I don't think I matched that vibe. I'm not about that. I wasn't bringing alcohol to school. I wasn't failing any classes. I was just very focused on school. And sometimes the environment you're in, whether it's your country, your school, your church, whatever, even though you're in the same place, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, however you want to call it, you're not compatible. So after a while, I didn't even think about dating. It never crossed my mind. I was aware that I was single, but I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't depressed. I didn't think my life was over. I just was living life. And now I'm at the point where I don't even want to date someone. People don't realize that when you date someone, right, you have to be super compatible. Not only that, if there's a problem, you both have to fix it. So, for example, if you're single and you make horrible decisions, and then the next morning you have to deal with the aftermath, like let's say you blew all your money on alcohol and now you have no money to get to work, no money to pay rent, you can deal with the consequences by yourself and you have to be okay with it. But when you're with someone and let's say they make bad decisions and you have to deal with it together, but they don't want to fix their problems, they don't want to go to therapy, they don't want to focus on self improvement, you're stuck with all the pieces. And imagine being with someone like that and you have kids together. Yikes. Yeah, I watched my parents go through that. My mom was pretty much doing everything, and my father was just kind of playing hopscotch in life. Like one minute he was there, the next minute he wasn't. I saw her going to school, going to work, busting her ass, getting exceptionally high grades in school while being a mother. Like my mom's badass, but she did it and never complained. But I knew that she was suffering, and she'd come home and dishes were stacked high like Mount Everest. Nothing was done. I mean, what mom wants to come home to a dirty house? Like a lot of you watching know, like you knew the house needed to be clean when she came home, but whatever. I remember my father would be sleeping all day, and one day I asked him for food. I'm like, I'm hungry. He went into the kitchen, grabbed a can of beans, slammed it on a table, and said, "Make something." I was 13 years old. Do you think I know how to fucking cook at 13? And I saw a lot of bad things about my father. He was a chain smoker, couldn't keep a job, addicted to nicotine, super aggressive if he couldn't get cigarettes. And he would sell my games to get cigarettes. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. I was just like, why are you doing that? When you're a kid, you just want to come home and play games. You don't really understand why your parents are doing things like that. But I kind of figured out, okay, he must be addicted to cigarettes. And I would understand if he sold the games to have money to buy food or clothes, but he didn't even want to do that. So one day my parents had a huge argument and then my mom was just like, get out. And he was okay with that. And do you know what the argument was about? The argument was about buying sneakers for me and my sister. So my mom bought sneakers for my sister, and she said, "Okay, you can buy sneakers for your son." And he was like, "This is my first paycheck." I don't know if that traumatized me, but hearing them arguing, screaming at each other, I'm in my room, not knowing what's gonna happen, and then hearing the door slam. I don't know if subconsciously I just didn't want to date anyone because I saw what was happening in my house. Like I don't think it affected me that much, but in the back of my mind, I always kind of knew dating is a lot of work. And right now, a lot of millennials don't really want to date, even if they're on dating apps or they're at the bars looking for people. They don't really want to date. Dating is not a game you play. You are getting with someone. You are meeting someone and accepting all of their flaws and their strengths and weaknesses. And a lot of us saw our parents struggle and now we have super high standards, but sometimes our standards are too high. I have friends, a lot of female friends. I love them, but I hear them talk about dating and I'm like, that's not realistic. You want the guy to be super tall, have a great job, you know, if he stutters, you don't like that. If I can't think of another example, but I have a friend and we would go to this one bar, and I said, "Oh, the bartender's pretty cute," and she's like, "Yeah, but he's short," and I would just be like, "Do women really care about that?" And she's like, "Of course." And it's not like I never heard that. I've always heard that, like a stereotype that if you're a man, you need to be tall or you're not going to get any women. And I mean, it's in our music. I grew up listening to "I Wish" by Skilo. Like, I wish I was a little bit taller. So if you grew up in the '90s, you know what that song is. And he's accurately describing the male experience. Like, if you're not tall, women are going to look your way. And I mean, it's not 100% true, but I do see that a lot. A lot of people are superficial. Like, your height, your weight, some of these things are really arbitrary. Like, I know a lot of women watching might say, "Yeah, and you need to be taller than me," but what do you think happens when you get old? You're going to shrink. Have you ever seen an old couple? They've been together their whole lives, and they're short. You're not gonna be the same height your whole life. You're gonna get wrinkles. You're gonna get old. I mean, it's a blessing if you can get old, but we're not going to have our looks, we're not going to have our height, we're not going to have, the sexy body, you're not going to have the titties, you're not going to have the ass. Like, you will lose that. And there's going to be a point where you ask yourself, okay, what do I have left? The intellect, being smart, having goals, having morals, how you treat people, those are things that I value in a partner. And the more I focus on self-improvement, I realize I'm not really compatible with a lot of people. I'm not perfect, but I've worked on myself a lot. I go to the gym and I run like 4 times a week. And that's in between having 2 jobs. I'm very focused on nutrition. During the pandemic, I lost about 20 pounds. I used to not be overweight, but my face had a lot of fat in it and I wasn't eating right. So I completely transformed my life with my diet and nutrition and working out. I speak 5 languages: Japanese, Chinese, American Sign Language, Spanish, and English. Right now, I'm working on Polish and I kind of want to learn Korean. But if I date someone, they have to be on the same wavelength. They need to be into fitness, they need to eat healthy. I don't want to date someone that smokes. I don't want to date someone that's drinking all the time. Yes, I drink, but moderately. I don't really care about tattoos. I only have one. I don't think tattoos make or break someone, but if your whole body is covered in tattoos, I probably wouldn't want to date that person. But I'm at the point where, yeah, it's sad being single. I see people in relationships all the damn time. I go to the beach, couples. Movie theater, couples. I go to the bar, couples. Like, I can't escape couples. Couples are everywhere. And it takes a lot of confidence to go somewhere and be like, "Yeah, I see that, but I'm okay." Yeah, it kind of makes me sad sometimes. I wish that I could date someone, but at the same time, I understand that compatibility runs on a scale or a spectrum. I think growing up, we always thought compatibility is like a yes or no thing. Like, do we like the same things? Okay, cool, we're compatible. But compatibility doesn't really work that way. If you think about it, you might like the same interests. So maybe you both like to drink, or you both like basketball, or going to the beach. You both like living in the same neighborhood. Maybe you both met working in hospitality. Like, I've met people through coffee shops, restaurants, bars. If you work as a nurse, you might have a coworker that you think is cute. But outside of that, what else do you have in common? Religion. Are you both Christian, Catholic, Muslim? Are you Buddhist? Are you spiritual? Do you believe in God at all? Are you agnostic? Are you an atheist? I'm like on the borderline between believing in God and not. So I'm okay with that in my life. I'm also bisexual. So we bisexual and gay people have a lot of trauma and a lot of struggles within Christianity. So I understand and it makes sense why someone like me wouldn't super believe in God, but my partner would have to be okay with that. And I probably wouldn't date someone that was super into religion, and I probably wouldn't date someone that was super atheist. So that's a lot to think about. But I understand that I come with a lot of, not boundaries, but I guess deal breakers. So I don't know if it's realistic, but it's also practical. I know I have to date someone that matches me. And sometimes that means being single. And sometimes that's a choice you have to make. I see a lot of people in relationships and they might look happy, but sometimes they're not. You don't really know if a couple is happy just because you see them at a bar together. Sometimes people who post on social media every day and show their partner, they're not showing you what's happening behind closed doors. So just food for thought. So if anyone's out there feeling like they're less than, or excuse me, less than, or like they're behind in life, I don't think you should feel that way. I'm a late bloomer. By definition, I'm definitely a late bloomer. I lost my virginity at 31. I got a gym membership for the first time last year, so in 2024. I've changed jobs so many times. I just started working as an interpreter 2 years ago. I finally look the way I want to look at age 32. I'm just now starting to get abs. I have a two pack right now, and I'm working on my six pack. There's so many things that I'm working on, but there's so many things I haven't done. But I think that's okay. Not everyone is in a relationship, and some people have never dated. I used to think that I was kind of behind because I didn't have a girlfriend or I wasn't married, but there's some people who never even kissed someone. And I don't think that's bad, but that's the reality. A lot of people say, I don't know how someone could go through life never kissing someone or never having sex. I've seen those videos on TikTok and I'm like, are you serious? Some people have just never done it. And it's not something they should be punished for. It's just the reality. Like, pretty privilege is real. Some people are conventionally attractive. Like, if you have certain features, like if you have a longer nose, or I don't know, thinner lips, or if you're white, that's desired by most people. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm at the point where I want to be in a relationship and then I don't. I get on the dating apps and I read bios and I'm like, oh my God. I'm on Hinge right now, right? I saw one girl's profile, and you know how you can choose prompts that kind of give an idea of what you're looking for, what your personality is like. This one woman goes, things I like: being mean to men, getting spoiled. Forgot what else she said, but her whole profile gave off the vibe that I'm God's gift to the world and men should bow down to me. She even said on a voice note, because you can leave voice notes on Hinge, I'm looking for someone to entertain me. I don't want to be bored. I could not click the X any quicker. And the sad part is, a lot of men are matching with her. There are a lot of men that think they can chase her and get her. She is not trying to be caught. There are a lot of people on dating apps that say they want a partner or they want casual sex, whatever. We're all adults. But they don't want that. A lot of people are looking for validation, and it's like you're on dating apps and you're kind of wasting your time by matching with someone. And when they match with you, they don't say hi, they don't respond, or if they do respond, they respond so dryly. And as a man, I can tell you, men and women have very different experiences on dating apps. If you're a woman, you get like 80 matches within the first hour. You're overwhelmed. Everyone's saying hi, hey, what's up, hey, beautiful, and you're like, oh my god, like it's too many. There's too many matches. No more matches. But then, from a guy's perspective, when you first make a bio, Or you first make your profile, you get like two matches, and then you message the girl and she unmatches. Or let's say you do have a conversation, they're dry. Like I've had very bland conversations with women on Hinge, and I've had good conversations. But I had to tell myself I'm not going to be desperate. Like if you're giving me low effort replies, unmatch. If I'm going to be lonely being with you, I'd rather be by myself. So that's what it is. But I understand that dating is very different than how it used to be 10 years ago. Our parents did not meet on a dating app. I can guarantee you that. Our parents met in the wild, in real life, at work, at church, at school, whatever. Now we are matching with strangers. And if you're not careful, you can lose yourself on a dating app or trying to date people. You can be so focused on trying to get a partner that you don't even have energy for your interests. You're not working out. You don't love yourself anymore. All your self worth is dependent on whether or not someone likes your profile. The 6 pictures that Bumble and Hinge requires you to set up don't always do you justice. And the 256 character limit they give you to write a bio can never do you justice. There's so much to you. There's so many great things about you that you probably can't even put on a bio. A bio that someone's not going to even read. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship, but what's the fucking point being on these dating apps where someone's interested in you 1 minute, then the next minute someone better came along? Like nothing can ever beat a face-to-face conversation where you're talking to someone and they are focused on you. Their phone is not out, hopefully. There's not another guy coming up to her. No, it's just me and you. The texting, the dating apps. I'm at a point where I'm like, I can't do it. I go to bars a lot, and I have seen women on Hinge. I noticed it. You see the gray and the purple color scheme. And I'm at a bar one time, and I see this girl showing her friends a Hinge conversation. Now, I can't hear the conversation, but you can tell what's going on. She's not even messaging him back. She's just showing them the conversation, and she's seeking validation. And it's like, you're so worried about what your friends think about this guy. What do you think about him? Do you like him? Do you think he's cute? Do you like anything about his profile at all? Sometimes I'm like, I feel like we are too stuck on social media or validation from our friends. Your friends might think he's ugly or might tell you, oh, just unmatch from him or don't accept the match. But you are the person that has to deal with that. You could be dating someone and it doesn't matter what your friends think. You are the person that goes home to him. You are the person that has to fix the problem, not your friends, not social media. So I think the biggest issue right now is that we care so much what other people think, but we don't know what we think. I've seen videos where people are like, this woman said, oh, he took me to the Cheesecake Factory, or he tried to take me to, I forgot what it's called, Cold Stones. Either the Cheesecake Factory or Cold Stones. But either way, I think the woman was saying she's not going to go. Like, he drove her halfway, or I think she was waiting for him in her car or his car. But she's giving him hell because he chose the Cheesecake Factory. And the comments are kind of divided, but most people are like, dude, just be grateful. Then I'm like, for all that, I'd rather be single. It's cheaper, it's easier, drama free. I don't have to worry about my picture ending up on social media and someone saying, look at where he took me. No, thank you. I feel like we kind of have to rewire our brains to remember that, hey, social media is fake. This is real life. You have to decide for yourself what you want in a partner and what you don't want. I think there's too much background noise and too many people have opinions, and I don't really see myself dating within the next 5 years, and I'm okay with that. I mean, if someone comes along, great, but I'm so focused on myself, and I'm looking around me, and I'm like, no one looks desirable. You go to bars, everyone looks the same. I'm walking through the East Village. There's a group of five women walking. They have the same hair color. They're all wearing sunglasses. They're all wearing the short denim skirts. The guys too. They all have the long white t-shirts, the backward caps, and they're walking with purpose, trying to get laid. And I'm not mad at them, but it's like you're not gonna get laid. I remember going to a bar with a friend, and that was our thing. We'd go to the bar, try to get girls. I mean, really, it was for him. I knew I wasn't getting anyone, but that's not a game I'm playing. That's a dangerous game. But we'd go to bars, and I would see him approach women all the time. He went up to one woman. They're talking, but I could see from her body language that she was kind of closed off and just saying, "Yeah, okay. Oh, really? Oh, sure, okay." Not really into it, but a lot of guys will keep pursuing even when the woman's politely moving away. So he offered to buy her a drink. She said, "Sure." He turns to me and says, "I feel used." And I'm like, "You feel used?" And then she heard me say that, and then she goes, "You don't have to buy me anything. I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to disrespect you. Like, I'm good." And he looked at me and got so mad and said, "Don't do that again." And I'm like, "You're the one talking to a woman who doesn't care that you exist." But he did that the whole night, going from girl to girl to girl. And at the end of the night, he looked at me. His eyes were red. He looked so depressed. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take a break from going out." And I was like, "Oh hell no, this is not my life. I can't do this." Not going to women at the bar, or I'm not going up to women at the bar. I'm gonna just focus on me. If someone comes up to me or talks to me, or I meet someone, great. But there's so much more to life than dating. I think that's how I'm gonna end this video. Yeah, there's so much more to life than dating. Thank you for watching. I don't really know what else to say, but I feel like I've thought about making this video for a while. I never knew what to say, but I just had an iced latte, so I got this buzz of creative energy. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. And for anyone who's single out there, I wouldn't think too much about it. And yeah, thanks for watching.